People say I talk about some weird stuff, some far out stuff. But how about that chair that you're sitting in isn't solid? How weird is that? This reality is nothing like we think it is.
When I saw what Ike is doing, like, I was a bit jealous on him. Like, wow, look at what this guy's doing.
I don't know if anybody else could do it but him, actually.
We are in a period now where speaking your truth is not just important, it's utterly crucial to where humanity goes from here. The world needs renegades, and it needs them now.
Still with technology, one of the saddest things that's happening, and happening systematically, is that young kids are killing themselves because of the experiences they're having on social media. Now, I may sound an old fuddy-duddy and all that stuff, and I don't care if I do, but I grew up in the 1950s and 1960s without social media. I see social media now, and I don't feel I missed out. In fact, I feel that I dodged a bloody bullet, because I keep saying this is a psychological operation. You can't control billions of people physically, though they will if they get AI connected to the human brain. But at the moment they can't. So they have to do it psychologically, and this is what social media has been is about. People like Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook and all the other people that run that company and similar companies, they are absolutely disgusting people who are making a disgusting contribution to the world. And I wish I could say it to his face, because I would. Here's a story, and it could be one of endless now. Bullied schoolgirl, 12, hanged herself in her room 2 days before her birthday after sharing social media photo of her foot with RIP drawn on it, as coroner warns of her intense social media activity in days before her death. Jessica Scatterson took her own life at her home in Warrington, Cheshire, at 3:45 a.m. on April the 22nd, 2017. An inquest into her death heard her social media activity had been ramped up to intense levels, which led her to be emotionally overwhelmed before suicide. See, social media is such a bubble, you can believe the whole world's like that. Because if you're never off social media is the world. And that's what's happening there and what people are saying about you there. Often behind their gutless login names, which allows psychopathy to express itself without consequences. You can think that that is the world, and it isn't. It's the world they're creating. It's the virtual world they're creating. And if you fall for that, then they got you. Even down to suicide. Drawings and notes referencing death and suicide were found in her room days after she passed. The notes included the name of an alleged bully. Nasty messages between the girl and her friends in the days leading up to her death were discovered on her iPad, the inquest heard. The hearing was told that Jessica's friends knew she had previously self-harmed, but never told her parents or teachers at the Penketh High School. A police inquiry revealed that there had been an incident related to Jessica being bullied at school in April 2016. Spectre Hannah Friend says Jessica had come home with scratches to her face and a swollen eye after arguing with another girl. The matter was reported to police, but it was unclear who started the fight, and so no action was taken. When quizzed by police, Jessica's friends denied she was bullied and said she gave as good as she got. Senior coroner for Cheshire, Alan Moore, said, "The level and intensity of her activity on social media platforms cannot have failed to have influenced her intentions." The British government has warned social media giants such as Facebook and Instagram, both owned by Facebook, that they'll be hit with a multi-million-pound fine if they fail to get rid of their platforms of harmful content. Now, that's again, going back to the story before, not about protecting children. How can you accept that a government and a system has this overwhelming desire to protect children when enormous numbers of them are allowed to go to bed hungry every night? It's the crocodile tears, it's the how do we manipulate emotion to get what they want? And what they want is to set more and more precedents for more and more reasons, to censor content that is not about harm. It's about putting out information that they don't want people to see. So harm suddenly takes on a much wider and, in the end, limitless perspective. Note, they don't say increasingly that content must be censored because it's illegal. They say because it's harmful, which is a completely open definition that can be applied. Well, we think that exposing that 9/11 was a scam is harmful. Yeah, to you. These people are psychopaths. They don't care about children, but they care about using children. And to censor the internet, you need children who are harmed by the internet. And I say to kids, don't let anyone else define you. Don't let some idiots at school define you. Define yourself. I was bullied at school at one point, and the bully said to me, "You meet me after school. I'm going to beat you up." And what he expected me after school to do is run. And I said to him, "Okay." I'll never forget the look on his face. I said, "Okay, I'll meet you." He wasn't expecting that answer, because bullies are cowards. And let's say that after we met, and I never laid a punch on him because I didn't want to, but he never laid one on me either, until his arms were so bloody, exhausted, he couldn't throw another. Well, I laughed at him. And he walked out with his mates who were cheering him on and then stopped cheering him on when it went awry. And I won't bully it anymore. We have to look life in the face, and we have to not care what other people think of us. Because if we do, they control us. Even to the point, in some cases, of people take their life. Come on, kids. Define yourself. Don't be defined by morons. Because if you do, you're allowing morons to control you. Come on. So they say bad things about you. And? So what? It only matters if you think it matters. Until you reach that point, it doesn't matter at all. People hurl abuse at me all the time. Couldn't care less. They're just wearing out their vocal cords. All the best. Couldn't care less. Because you defined yourself. You don't let other people define you. I really wish I could talk to some of these kids. I really do. And here's another story, just to emphasize that this is not becoming rare, or coming from a point of view of it's rare. It's a gathering phenomenon. Children as young as 9 are talking about suicide in class, teacher's survey reveals. Children as young as 9 are talking about suicide in class, a teacher's survey has revealed, as they warn that mental health issues are on the rise. Why? Why are mental health issues on the rise in children, even very young children? Because their minds are being played with on a level that people who haven't looked at this will have no comprehension of the scale of it. And it's a precursor to their minds being taken over completely by AI, because all these dots connect in the end. 4 in 5 teachers said they have a rise in pupils experiencing mental health problems, according to a poll conducted by the National Education Union. The survey of over 8,674 teachers and support staff found that 83% saw a rise in the past 2 years. SATS pressure and general expectations are taking their toll on more vulnerable pupils, one teacher commented, adding, "We have 9-year-olds talking about suicide." And this pressure of exams is enormous, because, again, kids, hey, don't let exams define you either. I never took a major exam in my life. Never mind pass one. And I somehow survived. My son Gareth used to get E's in his exams. What is he now? A bright, highly intelligent, multi-talented bloke. Don't let exams define you, or anything else, or anyone else. Not only kids, anyone. The pressure. And what are exams? They are simply a test to see if you've absorbed the programming or not. And the ones who have get lauded. The ones who haven't get called a failure. Oh, you've not passed this exam at 11 years old. You are a failure for life. God, it's pathetic. Another teacher said that she had seen much more anxiety and self-harming among pupils, adding that there have been 3 suicides in 3 years in my school alone. 3 suicides in 3 years in one school. What the hell are we doing, or allowed to be done? Best thing parents can do for their kids, in my view, get them off social media, get them off smartphones, and let them take their lives back. You know, people talk about, I want to do the best for my kid. Well, what is that? What is that? Buy them a smartphone? Is that doing the best for your kid? No, that's doing what your child wants, which is not necessarily what is beneficial. And when they get older and go out into the world, then, okay, well, they make their own decisions. But when they're young, they just come into the world. They're not wise about the world, they haven't been here long enough. Then people who have been here a bit longer need to say, hold on a minute, this ain't good for you. When you get older, you do what you like, but this ain't good for you. But of course, what people will get because of the programming of the children is that they take on the role of the villain. My mum and dad won't buy me a smartphone. All my mates have got them. But if you care about your children, then you'll take the role of villain, because you know you're doing what you know is best for the child in the long run. So if I was, you know, a father of young kids today, no way would they have smartphones. And certainly not social media. If you want to talk to your mates, go around and talk to them. Meet them in the park. Meet them at their house or our house. Talk to them face to face. What humans used to do once. Okay. Oh yeah, it's another kind of connection to this. Iraq considers banning online multiplayer games as they have brainwashed young people. The Iraqi government has proposed banning online multiplayer video games amid fears they are corrupting young people and getting them hooked on violent fantasies. But why wouldn't they if they're playing games all the time that are about killing people and blowing things up? Again, I've written about this in the books years ago. It's desensitizing the young. Oh dear. Bless me. You know people where that came from? Bless you. They used to think that when you sneezed, you were getting rid of evil spirits. You know, Zuckerberg on there. So anyway, the Iraqi parliament has proposed banning online multiplayer videos because of this violent fantasies they say it's creating. But kids are on these games killing people and blowing things up virtually all the time. Why wouldn't that desensitize them from murder? I mean, and where have we gone now? We've got the military playing computer games called drone pilots who from thousands of miles away are flying planes to bomb people. Anyone think that they're not desensitized but from what they do? I bet, you know, all of them have been playing video games to a high level, and probably that's why they got the job. I read a story once about drone pilots in America flying drones around the world, bombing people, and how that they would spend the morning, you know, on the stick, bombing people they know nothing about because they were told to. Then at lunchtime, they'd go off and, you know, or at the end of the day, they'd go off and pick the kids up from school, take them home, give them their dinner. Having killed God knows how many kids earlier in the day, somewhere else on the other side of the world. This is what desensitization does. So anyway, Iraq's Cultural Parliamentary Committee submitted a draft law over the weekend seeking to ban the games, singling out the multiplayer deathmatch game PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's all about battle. You notice these games are all about killing. On purpose. It's all connected. Islamic clerics have also raised concerns about young people becoming absorbed in scenes of glorified violence, considering their country's own long history of war, destruction and bloodshed. The committee is concerned about the obsession over these electronic games that ignite violence among children and youth. Its influence has spread rapidly among Iraq's societies. It's everywhere. The draft law, awaiting revision by the Parliament Speaker, follows reports in the Iraqi media about young people spending vast stretches of time playing the so-called Battle Royale games. There are also reports of a wave of divorces and suicides being linked to the games and their hold on young people. Last Thursday, high-profile Shiite cleric Tada al-Sadr, wrote on Twitter, the social media website, "It saddens me to see our youth are brainwashed, basically by these games. Iraq society is deteriorating as its youths are occupied by the fighting in these, in effect, virtual battlefields. Iraqi society has for 16 years been straining under immense pressures, including invasion, needless endless war, and the destruction and ongoing reconstruction of much of the Iraqi state." Like I say, all these things are connected.
The world needs renegades, and it needs them now.